Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now in the recent weeks, about a week ago now, we had massive news that Saracens are going to be relegated at the end of the season to the Championship. Now this is huge news for everyone, for the club, for the Premiership and for rugby and sport as a whole. It's unbelievable what has happened, to be honest. I mean, it all started, as we know, back early in 2019 when Saracens were being audited forensically to check whether they were over the salary cap. This went on for a couple of months, and then after the World Cup in November, Saracens got that points deduction, the 35-point deduction, and the fine as well to go along with that, because they were breaking the salary cap for the past 3 seasons. Well, now now it's got to a point where they have been relegated because they haven't been able to show that they are compliant with the cap. So, from what I know, there were two choices. There was either relegation or show their books, and they chose relegation. And along with showing the books as well, there was also you lose all your trophies, and they chose relegation. So Saracens will be relegated at the end of the season. Now, as the week's gone on, at the start of the week when this was announced, we didn't really have much communication from the PRL. It was all a bit of a weird situation. There were leaks flying around everywhere. The PRL just and Premiership Rugby couldn't keep all the information to themselves. They were flying the leaks out everywhere from every different source, from Sky, from Daily Mail, and BBC. There were leaks going everywhere about what was happening, about players leaving, about the whole situation, and etc, etc, etc. Well, now what has happened is that the books are being released. So Saracens have said that they want the books to be released, even though the PRL statement said that they didn't want them to be released. So it's a bit of a weird situation, but the books are now being released. And guess what? They've been leaked. Yep, the books have been leaked, and Sky have shown us, well, what is allegedly, we don't know yet, they're leaks, what is allegedly put Saracens over the salary cap. And what it shows and what it says is basically what Nigel Ray was saying back in November. It was those co-investments that were putting Saracens over the cap, and they obviously haven't sorted them out. They may have sorted them out, but they weren't showing that they were compliant with the cap. So basically, the reason they were over the cap in the first place was because of co-investments, because of advertisements with Mario Toji. He was in a lot of adverts and promoting brands and stuff. They were giving homes to the likes of Chris Ashton. They were helping with businesses of the Vinopola brothers and all of that. That is allegedly what put them over the cap. We don't know yet because they're only leaks. There may be more to come, but that is allegedly what put them over the cap. So, yeah, it's a bit underwhelming because it doesn't seem as much as everyone thought it would be. Like, we thought it would be huge with a load of players being over the cap and all that, but it was just co-investments, as was said. Now, even though these may have been fixed after November, I think it was the fact that they were not compliant with the cap, and the fact that they weren't showing that they were compliant with the cap is the reason why they got the relegation. That, and they probably didn't want their trophies taken off them. So it's a bit of a weird situation, but yeah, the books have been released, and as underwhelming as they are, it still shows why Saracens were over the cap. But as I said, we don't know for sure on the whole situation because it's just a leak. Now, I am myself a Sarries fan, and this whole situation has been really tough to take. I'm sure it has been for other Sarries fans, but for me it's been tough to take. Like, when we got the points deduction, I agreed with it. I thought, yeah, we're over the salary cap. We've technically cheated, so we should get a points deduction for that. I agree with that. So, and then I thought it was all over. I listened to the statements, and I thought it was all over. I thought we were going to carry on from there, go for safety, and it will all be forgotten by the end of the year. But no, it came back came back a couple of weeks ago when it was said that we had to choose between keeping, get rid of trophies, showing off the books, and relegation. When that news came out, as a Sarries fan, I was like, I was, I didn't really know how to take it. I was hoping that relegation wasn't going to happen, but it has, and I was upset. I was distraught. Of course, anyone would be when their team gets relegated. I didn't want it to get to this point. I thought that, yeah, I agree with it. We're over the salary cap. We cheated. We should be relegated, and that's what my background thoughts were. But my foreground thoughts were how annoying it was that we let it get to this point, and we should have fixed everything that needed to be fixed beforehand, back in November, or even before November when we were being checked. We needed to fix something because something was obviously wrong. So, it was all that situation, and yeah, it was really tough to take. But overall, I practically agree with it. Myself, I don't think the communication's been very good from both Saracens and the PRL. I think it's been awful. To be honest, we're not really hearing very much. All we're hearing are leaks flying around all over the gaff, and it's all getting a bit confusing. We don't know what's going on. We've had the books being released. We know they're going to be released, but even they've been leaked. So can we trust the leaks? So we just don't know yet, but we'll see what happens come the future. I just think that there needs to be more communication with the PRL and Saracens themselves as well. Along with this, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the future in terms of players leaving, and players leaving, how they're going to be picked for international duty if they're in the championship, etc, etc. My view on the players leaving as a Sarries fan is, if they want to leave, they can leave. I hope that some of them stay. I know we might not be able to keep all of them, but I hope some of the big names stay. So, the likes of Farrell, the likes of Itoji, maybe not stay in the championship, but if they go out on loan to another club and then come back, that would be great. Because I don't want the whole club to be washed out. I know there will be changes. I understand there will be changes, but I just hope that we keep some of the core in the squad, so we have a bit of core, and then a couple of academy players coming up, or a couple of signings who are lower in the wage bill, for example. So I hope that happens. As a whole, for me as a Sarries fan, I'm taking relegation. I don't mind. I do mind it. I'd rather we stay in the Premiership, of course, but we deserve it for cheating. Really, I think it's a fine call, because if we've cheated for this long period, then yeah, we should face the big consequence of being relegated. All I hope for is that we use the relegation, we use the Championship as a clean slate. We take it with a grain of salt, clean slate, reset the minds, go for promotion, get promotion, and come back and win trophies in the Premiership when we're back without having to break the salary cap. That is what I want as a Sarries fan. I'm going to stick by my team in the Championship, hope we get promoted, and then when we are back, hopefully we can win titles without breaking the salary cap. That is all I really want as a Sarries fan, and I'm sure that's what all the Sarries fans want, as well as it to all be over, because this is just awful for not even just Sarries fans, but for everybody. This whole situation's just gone off on one now, and people are annoyed by it. It's all just getting a bit ugly, really, and I think everyone wants it to be over now, but there's going to be much more coming out of this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. On a final note, on what happens in the future, what I do want is all the teams to be forensically checked, like Saracens. Now, I know that some of them may not be over the cap, I understand that, and yeah, they may not be, but they still need to be checked. I think it can be perceived as slightly unfair if Sarries are the only ones that got forensically checked. Yeah, the other teams probably aren't over the cap, they might not be, but some could be close, but I still think they need to be checked badly, because otherwise it can be perceived as unfair for Sarries if they're the only one who've been forensically checked and the other clubs haven't. So yeah, I hope that happens in the future, and that we get clarity on what the other clubs are doing as well. But yeah, overall, If there's any other big news that comes out on this story, because of course there is going to be, then I will post it straight on here immediately. Well, I'll try to make it immediate. I mean, this wasn't very immediate, was it? But, you know, I'll see how well it goes and see what I can do. I'll try to get videos up as quick as possible. I've tried filming this video about 4 times now. The camera, the technology just was not working for me. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as I said, any big news comes up, I'll be posting it on the channel. So click that bell next to the subscribe button, as well as the subscribe button. You can click that as well if you want, to get the latest videos, and then when big news comes out, you'll be notified when I've posted about it. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be much appreciated. Also, comment down below what you think on this whole situation, whether you're a fan of Sarries, a fan of a rival club, a neutral, or even someone who doesn't even watch rugby that often. What do you think about this whole situation? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. So yeah, please leave a like. Subscribe as well while you're here. That'd be much appreciated. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in a bit.